What's up, guys? It's 2018 going into 2019, and today we're going to review and cover if this Sony XA1 Ultra is worth buying in today's market. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel. I'm Sean P, the Apex Predator. So it's 2018, we are 1 month away from 2019, and today I'm going to cover if this phone, the Sony XA1, is worth buying in today's market. Is this phone worth the low price point of under $250 if it's worth it today? Now, this phone has come out a couple years ago, and at the time of the original phone being released, it was an amazing phone, especially compared to its competitors. However, years later, let's see how it performs today. This is the second time I purchased this phone in its lifetime since they've launched this Sony XA1. I just love the way this looks. We're going to first go over what the phone has as far as specs. Let's go first into what the phone has, offers, and what's under this hood. So you have 4 different colors as far as option goes. You have white, pink, gold, and black colors available for this phone. It provides both SIM card and micro SD card slots available, and up to 256 gigabytes worth of micro SD memory. The operating system is Google Android N. The CPU processor is a MediaTek Helio P20. And I'm going to go more into depth on this processor later in the video. The battery is a 2300 milliamp battery, so not too big on the size. However, my friend, this phone offers 2 different stamina modes, which will allow you to get more battery out of your phone for a lot further. So the battery is a 2300 milliamp hour battery, which supposedly says here it has some form of quick charge. However, Sony doesn't even provide you a quick charge fast charging brick out of the box. And with even another party's fast charge brick, it really takes a long time for it to charge, and I'll go more into that in the video as well. The display is a 5-inch HD 720p with image enhanced technology. I love the size of the phone itself and the dimensions and the bezels. For me, that's something I do not mind at all. My biggest thing I like about this display and the overall feel and durability of this phone is a rectangular shape. You just don't see these anymore. Today, everything is curved. I like these square bodies. It's lean and sleek. Now we'll go into the camera. The main camera offers a 23 megapixel camera with a quick launch capability, as a dedicated camera button, which is one of my favorite features. I will go over that as well. It has a 23mm wide angle f2.0 lens on the main camera. The front facing camera has an 8 megapixel camera with a 23mm wide angle lens f2.0 as well. It's nothing too great as far as to anything to boast about, but I will cover that as well. The camera itself, as you can see, is nothing amazing, and I will show you guys more on that later. Now, one thing you do want to know about this phone is it's not waterproof, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Sony has been known for making their phones waterproof. They were the first phone actually to introduce waterproofing in its time, and somewhere down the line Sony decided to stop adding waterproofing on their phones. I guess maybe to bring down price models, I'm not really sure. But this one specifically is not waterproof, so do not use it underwater at a pool or in the shower. For me, I love doing that on my Samsung because I like to take good shots underwater. But however, it's not a deal breaker. It's just something I do want to let you guys know about. Next, we're going to go over things I like about this phone. Now, like I mentioned, I did purchase this phone 2 times in its lifetime, and the main reason is because of the gorgeous elegance look to it. It's a rectangular body shape, it's got a glass finish. I love the Sony design to it. I love the way it feels. You pull this out in an elevator and people will ask you indefinitely, what kind of phone is this? I hear it all the time. Not just that, but then they get shocked that it's made by Sony. A lot of people forget that Sony does make amazing cell phone. So the other thing I do love about this phone is, speaking of the size and shape and feel of this phone, is a dedicated camera button. Now, you don't see this on phones today at all. Sony's the only one that I've seen that actually has a dedicated camera button on this phone. Now the camera button is not just for you to open the application for the camera. You can also adjust the focus of the camera with it. Now if you press, instead of pressing the full force all the way down, if you press it halfway, then the phone starts to focus itself on the subject at hand, which is really cool. I wish every phone had this. If I were to build my own phone, I would love it to look just like this. Have a dedicated camera button, square body, and white finish to it. However, we don't live in that kind of world. The other thing I do like about this phone is the stamina modes. Now, it offers a regular stamina mode, so it cuts down on a lot of background applications to last their battery a little bit longer. And then there's the big one, the ultra stamina mode. Now, the ultra stamina mode completely cuts down any application and all applications for pretty much what you got your smartphone for. This is brilliant because it's perfect when you're in a situation where you can't charge your phone, or an emergency situation, like if you're at Disneyland and your family is scattered everywhere. And in that situation, what you do is you pop the ultra stamina mode and your phone can last you a whole extra day, if not more, which then you're only able to use the phone call and messaging features at that point. You can also still use the camera and other small applications, I do believe. So it's perfect for those emergency situations, or if you're at an amusement park and you just simply can't charge your phone. The downside to the battery, though, to these modes is it doesn't offer the quick charge capability. Now, I do have a bunch of quick charge fast charging bricks on their website. If you check, it does say it does offer some form of quick fast charge. However, when you put this to real world application, you're sitting by a wall port for close to an hour to get a decent amount of charge. So now that we talked about some things I really do like about this phone, the next thing we're going to talk about is the main reasons I moved away from this phone again. This is the things I don't like about this phone, and that is really struggling to compete in today's market. Now, a couple of things right off the back that I can tell you that you probably already noticed is there is no fingerprint scanner, no facial recognition capability as well. Not a big thing for me. The fingerprint, it is a convenient way, an easy way for me to log into my applications and open the phone. However, it's not a big deal when it came to this phone not having it. Next, we're going to move into some of the things I really hate about this phone. This is the next things that made me completely move on to a different phone. The Helio CP processor. This processor is one of the worst I've ever had. So the processor here makes the phone feel very sluggish, muddy, and feels like your phone will freeze at any moment. It has a very long transition period between applications, and even your input when you're texting or messaging or typing anything that has to do with messaging, it feels very sluggish, very muddy, and it's just a very frustrating CPU to work with, especially in today's market. I mean, with everything else that we've been seeing and putting our hands on, this thing seems to really just struggle. Now, outside the CPU processor, the lack of fingerprint scanner, the Bluetooth capability, and the weak camera performance, the last main issue of why I had to move on from this phone is the lack of quick charge capability. This is just a big one for me. I need to be able to charge my phones quickly. I don't have all day, especially when you travel a lot and you maybe find yourself in an emergency situation that you just want to get a quick charge in so you can go, or maybe not just an emergency. Let's say you just want to get a quick charge so you can be at an event. Since I go to a lot of different events, maybe you just want to do a quick charge so you can just go on and about and use your phone to take selfies and pictures and video, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. It's very frustrating that the phone doesn't have that capability. So these are the reasons of why I'm moving from this phone today. Now you might be asking yourself, if all these cons to this phone, who is this phone really dedicated for? Who should be buying this phone? This phone would be perfect for a gift for the first time user or buyer of a smartphone, ladies and gentlemen, like your children. If your daughter or son has been nagging you for a cell phone, for under $250 you get this unlocked phone, you pop in the SIM card and they're good to go. They're probably not going to really notice all the issues that I just mentioned because they're not they haven't had any cell phones in the past. But it's definitely a great phone for somebody that doesn't have too much of a need of it. And the biggest thing is, if especially as for your children, it has that great ultra stamina mode in case of emergencies. Let's say they get stuck on the side of the road and they just can't charge their phone, or the battery dies in their car, or they're just out and about and they don't have a charger. The ultra stamina mode really does help with situations like that, so it's definitely great for your kids. The other option also would be to have it as a secondary phone. Now a lot of people will go to different locations and travel, maybe go to Disneyland and stuff, and they don't want to take their main phone on them in case of it breaking or getting damaged or something like that, or losing it. So this would make it perfect as a secondary phone. You could just swap out the SIM card, have it with you, and use it for that temporary time. Or let's say your main phone, like it's an iPhone or something, and the battery dies pretty quick, then you can just have this phone as a backup, which is perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. The link of this phone is in the description. If you have any questions about this phone, please make sure you drop in the comments below. My social media links are in the description box below as always, so you can find me on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. That's all for today, guys. Catch you in the next video.